I loved DSP Gaming. He was one of the best LPers in existence. I would get up every morning and watch his playthroughs. He always posted a lot, so we would never be out of content to watch. My favorite LP of his was Fallout 3. My dream, my one dream in my life, was to stay with Phil and play games with him. He seemed like someone I would have fun playing with. One day, I checked my YouTube subscriptions and found out that DSP was doing a contest. It wasn't for an empty box this time around, no. The prize was for a vacation to stay with the King of Hate himself. It would last for the weekend, and we would play games non-stop. If you're wondering about this video, Phil himself took it down after the contest ended, so you can't find it anymore because nobody saved it. I entered the contest, and it turned out to be an endurance test to see who could last the longest without asking Phil for a friend request. When I was notified that I had won, I was very excited. I would finally get to meet my idol, and the one that I kept on a pedestal at all times. I was told that I would have to pay for the trip, but it was still worth it. I can't give his address or location away, but I paid for the trip and arrived within a week. When I got to his part of the town, it turned out that he was living in an apartment. I looked at the instructions I had been given and made my way to his home. When he opened the door, DSP was standing there. "Congratulations for winning my contest," he said with a less excited tone. I wondered if he was tired and not ready for this, but I was polite and told him that it was a huge honor to be here with him. That's when he changed from looking uninterested to laughing hysterically. "Look at how this guy sounds!" I laughed with him since he looked to be the type to just joke around. Phil then invited me and told me that we were going to be playing Mario Party for the N64 first. It was a favorite game of mine, and I knew how to play it. Phil got up and tried to plug in the N64, and this is where things started to get weird. He had trouble getting things set up. Like, he didn't know where the cords went, and he spent about 30 minutes trying to get the system set up. He then went into a frenzy. He picked up the N64 and threw it into the ground and did that hysterical laugh again. "Damn you, Miyamoto, for making this piece of shit of a system. Durr, Nintendo, durr, we stupid." He then told me that there was nothing he could do and how it wasn't his fault. I felt bad for him. I decided to be nice and go to a nearby resale shop that I found on my way and picked up a new N64 for Phil. It cost me about $40, but it would hopefully make him feel better and make his weekend less crappy. I made it back and plugged in the N64, and Phil started clapping like a seal. "I was supposed to know that! I was supposed to plug it into a TV! Stupid, lazy developers!" I put the game in, and we were ready to start playing. Phil selected Wario, and I decided to play as Yoshi since he was a favorite. "You're playing as that kitty character? I bet this guy goes out dressing like him too." He then did that stupid seal clap again, and once again I thought he was joking at the time since it was in his character and he was trying to do the best to act like his internet persona. We got to the first minigame, which was Platform Peril. Phil had a cocky expression, and I asked him if he played this before. He pressed the start button immediately and told me he didn't need to practice. He was wrong. He fell on the very first jump and started throwing a tantrum. Seconds later, he yelled at the top of his lungs and said that he pressed the jump button. He then did that stupid laugh again, and I ended up winning. Shortly after getting my coins, we were taken back to the board map. This time DSP managed to land on a chance time square, and the result wasn't pretty. He ended up having to give all his coins to me. What? What? Are you kidding me? You're such a cheater. You hacked this game so that I would lose and you would win. This is stupid. Phil then threw the controller down in a rage, and this is where I started questioning my idol's behavior. Was he serious? Was he not happy that I was doing good? Did he really want to win that badly? I was even tempted to ask him if he was even pretending anymore. The next mini-game was Shy Guy Says, and that mini-game didn't go well for him either. He was the first to get shot down, and then Phil said that he pushed the right button. Phil got up and reset the console. You know what? I'm not going to let you win this because you cheated. Kiss my fucking ass. He let out a rude burp, and then we restarted the entire game. This time I decided to try to lose so Phil would win, but even that didn't work out. Somehow, despite trying to do bad at the game, he still managed to suck, even more than I did. He messed up at mini-games before I could get the chance, and he would land on the red spaces, which took coins away. Stupid Miyamoto. DSP got up and reset the system again. This continued on and on all day, for hours. We only managed to get one board done, and that was only because DSP had won. You know the feeling that you get when you finally find out that you've been delusional this whole time? I finally knew what it meant. Phil wasn't acting. He was really this stupid and a complete douchebag. Should have known better. When Phil got up and reset that stupid system one last time, I got up and told him that I finally have had enough of this bullshit. This game is stupid. Mario Party sucks, he said, as he got the cartridge out and slammed it onto the floor. He slammed it so hard that the whole house shook, and his prized figure collection in the kitchen flew off the dinner table and shattered. What? What? How was I supposed to know that throwing something so hard would destroy my Batman collection? He then looked at me as if I was responsible. This is your fault. If you didn't cheat and hack the game, I never would have gotten this man and done all of this. You're paying for all the damages done to my collection. I gave him the middle finger. Fuck you. I then walked out of his apartment in rage and noticed that it was now dark outside. I was willing to find a hotel and stay for the night until morning and then drive back home. Suddenly, from out of nowhere, I heard the sound of a chainsaw starting up, followed by a familiar annoying laugh. I immediately screamed and started running for it. I tried to yell for help. Nobody answered. The whole area felt empty, as if DSP was the only person living in these apartments. I continued to try and cry out for help, but nobody came. That was when I noticed something. There was nobody around when I first got here. And Phil, he was the only person that I had seen. The sounds of the chainsaw were getting louder, and that stupid laughter continued echoing from the dark. I finally managed to get out of the apartment complex and tried to look for someone who actually acted like a decent human being. Even the areas around DSP's apartment were deserted. Suddenly, Phil came from out of nowhere. Quit warning! You're giving me my yearly exercise! I screamed and made a dash for it, with DSP now behind me. I continued to scream. I continued to look for a way to escape. I had to rush and get the fuck out of here. This is really fair. How come you're faster than me? He cried. I was lucky that Phil was fat, or else he would have sliced me in half by now. Suddenly, I hit a dead end, and sadly, Phil had followed me. I was exhausted and trapped in one of the town's alleyways, with the area blocked off by a huge stack of crates. DSP was ready to kill me until the juice in his chainsaw ran out. What? What? How is this fair? Immediately, I jump-kicked him in the stomach. I couldn't block, he said, lying on the floor in pain. Suddenly, I found a nearby car that was unlocked, and I didn't give a damn if I was stealing it. The keys were luckily in the driver's seat, and I started up the car and got away from this hellhole. Whatever you do, don't assume that someone is awesome because of what they do. I still have the feeling that DSP is still searching for me to this day. I only hope that he doesn't find me. If he does find me, there's nothing I can do!